I went there as a physics major student. So dia cakap, easy, just cut her off. You know, I rasa dekat 2 kilo jambu merah tu, dia tak nak bagi ayah dia bawa. Berat dia angkut.
Dia nak bawa sendiri.
Dia bawa sendiri. Kakak. Betul, I guess the trust I have for my parents.
Baik, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera kepada semua pendengar. Kita kembali lagi ke podcast Pendidikan Kerjaya. Minggu ini di episod yang keempat. Terima kasih kepada semua pendengar yang masih setia mendengar. Alhamdulillah, hari ini kita bersama dengan tetamu yang sangat istimewa, yang punya pengalaman yang luas dalam psikologi klinikal. Jadi kita bawakan khas daripada Jabatan Psikiatrik Hospital Sultan Abdullah Puncak Alam. Ikon kerjaya kita hari ini iaitu Puan Izzati Bashir, merupakan seorang pensyarah dan juga seorang klinikal psikologi di UiTM. InsyaAllah dalam podcast ini kita akan bersama-sama membincangkan topik yang sangat menarik, iaitu perjalanan karier atau perjalanan kerjaya seorang pakar psikologi klinikal dalam meneroka dunia yang tak terlihat. Okay, jom kita berkenalan dengan tetamu kita. Sebelum tu, kami ucapkan jutaan terima kasih kepada Puan kerana sudi meluangkan masa untuk bersama kami hari ini.
Terima kasih sebab jemput saya untuk join podcast ni hari ni.
Jadi kita terus ke soalan pertama.
Baik.
Tanpa kita melengahkan waktu lagi. Okey, jadi soalan daripada Izzati kepada Izzati.
Baik.
Okey, soalan dia adalah, boleh tak Puan ceritakan sedikit berkenaan dengan latar belakang, asal mana berkenaan Puan dan macam mana boleh sampai ke
Psikologi klinikal. Klinikal psikologi.
Macam tu.
Okay. Cerita saya akan panjang, saya akan cuba pendek kan?
Tak apa. Take your time.
You have all the time. Interesting. Okay. Saya sekarang ni sebagai pensyarah dan clinical psychologist di UiTM. Saya join UiTM recently this year sebenarnya. Sebelum ni saya merupakan full-time lecturer di School of Psychology Asia Pacific University. Dan sebelum tu saya berkhidmat full-time juga sebagai head program dan lecturer di INTI, University Penang. Okay, so itu saya punya background a little bit. Sebelum tu saya merupakan full-time clinical psychologist. Ada dekat macam Kizu di Shah Alam sebenarnya. Okay, so a little bit of my background. So saya sempat full-time clinical psychologist, full-time lecturer head program, and now I'm here where saya boleh dapat best of both worlds. I enjoy being a clinician, I enjoy being a lecturer, I enjoy doing a research. So these are the three elements that I've been looking for, and it's hard to get it at one place. So UiTM really give me all the things that I wanted to do. Hence why I am here today lah. Okay, so a little bit of background sebelum tu. I am currently doing my PhD clinical psychology dekat UPM. My research revolves around borderline personality disorder punya patient, where it involves suicidal patient yang ada difficulty nak regulate emotions. So that is what my PhD all about at the moment. And previously I completed my master in clinical psychology dekat Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia for 2 years. And before that I completed my bachelor degree in psychology, Bachelor of Science dekat University of Melbourne for 3 years dekat Australia. So eventually, this is a little bit interesting about me. When I first went to Melbourne to pursue my degree, I went there as a physics major student. So I was so into physics. And then when I was there, waktu second year, I took psychology as my minor subject. I was so into psychology waktu buat physics tu. And then during my time there, the psychology exposure was so interesting. They talk about how intervention helps, what kind of intervention that's gonna very helpful now and in future. And during my time doing that particular degree kan, I rasa macam this is what Malaysia needs right now. And for physics, the thing I'm interested in was astrophysics. But Malaysia tak ada market untuk astrophysics.
Betul.
Astrophysics.
Maksudnya astrophysics tu sebelum degree ke macam
waktu saya degree, so how it work dekat saya tukar major. How it work dekat Australia, you boleh tukar major sampai third year sebenarnya baru you confirm you major apa. Sebab dia kita punya subjek boleh tambah-tambah. So waktu I pergi tu, sebab I pergi ada scholarship. So selalunya scholarship pada awal dah tentukan. Okay, you pergi, you kena balik, you akan jadi apa-apa-apa. So I pergi dengan scholarship untuk buat physics punya degree. So Bachelor of Science, major in physics. Tapi waktu second year, I macam, this is not what I want. I'm so into psychology. So I went back to my scholars and tell them, hey, I'm really interested in psychology. And this is the demand at the moment. It's not, I'm going to waste all my physics knowledge anyway. The analytic part and whatnot, we still need it anyway. So what I'm going to do, good thing, I went to Melbourne Uni. I boleh use physics as my minor, psychology as my major. So I tak kena redo, swap je. So that's why I can still finish on time. So with major in psychology, minor in physics. So that's my background. Before that, kalau orang tanya buat asasi apa degree kan, orang mesti akan interested untuk tahu. Sebab kan saya pergi untuk buat physics major kan. Sebelum tu saya buat international baccalaureate. Pernah dengar tak? IB. So kita ada A-level, IB. So saya buat IB dekat College Mara Seremban for 2 years. So sebelum tu, little bit about school, kat sekolah sains kat Penang. So that's it. Very long story about me.
Maksudnya yang ni under JPA scholarship?
Saya Mara punya sekolah.
Mara scholarship.
So during my time waktu tu, kita orang tak ada yang straight untuk buat psychology degree sebenarnya. Yang buka JPA.
Maksudnya lepas JPA bersetuju untuk
Mara bersetuju.
Mara bersetuju.
Ya. Wow. So second year tu saya balik, it's not easy lah, right? Saya pergi sebelum saya nak tukar major tu, kita nak kena convince Mara punya scholars kan. So I went to head of physics punya department. I met director school of physics. I go and see him. Very like casual punya meeting. I'm really interested in psychology as my major. I think this is what I want to do as my career. It's not that I hated physics, but I don't see myself doing it passionately compared to when I'm doing psychology. And then I punya lecturer, the professor waktu tu, he was like, I mean, it's good for you. You know what you want. At this point of time, I you know, like being Western, they like being very honest. This is the thing about Asian. They're so scared going into social punya sciences. They feel like there's no hope. It's not important. And I'm so proud to see you manage to be very mature and know what you want. Come to see me today and do it. Because here's the thing about Asian. They thought whoever they are, fish, frogs, cats, everyone need to run. But eventually, you have to measure their abilities based on their capacities. So I'm like, thank you. I think that's enough for me. I'm confident to meet my Mara director. So I'm like, I went home. I punya waktu break nak masuk second year to third year punya peralihan, I dah buat paperwork lah 1 year in advance telling them I nak tukar. I met them. So I bawa surat daripada School of Physics, School of Psychology yang I made my decisions not just purely because of emotion, not just because simply I hated physics, I dislike mathematics. No. This is passions that I'm talking about and future that I'm talking here. So with that, waktu meetings, alhamdulillah, they let me do my transitions from physics to psychology.
Maksudnya psikologi yang full tu on the third year?
From first year, I dah ambil psychology sebenarnya. Okay. So how it work, waktu kita buat degree, kalau kat Australia, kita memang kena ambil subject major, kena ambil subject minor. So I started with taking introduction to psychology. All the psychology subject I dah ambil daripada awal. Because I can see, this is where my interest lies in. I'm very curious about how people are working, what makes people normal, what makes people not normal, how people are thinking. So, behavior-wise kan. So I took the subject lah.
Sebab tu senang je nak transition during your second year kan. Because boleh tanya, this kind of decision kan, do you seek advice maybe from your family perhaps, dapat tak diorang punya view, or is it on your own 100%?
I think it's very important. As a 19 to 20 years old girl during that time, we can't help it but to ask around, right? So I talked to my family, of course to my parents, to my circle around me. One thing that I'm super grateful for is that my parents, they are very open and encouraging. If you think that's what you want, go ahead. If you think you have what it takes, you know why you are changing, go ahead. And my friends on the other hand, they were like, we have seen you talking about psychology passionately since year one. Seems like this is your call, and even I still remember waktu I nak pergi Office School of Psychology, my friends were there. They're accompanying me. Diorang teman saya pergi school. Hey, so I have like my housemate. Diorang ikut I. Jomlah kita pergi teman you pergi School of Psychology.
Jadi dapat banyak.
Betul. So and I pergi School of Physics because it's like, you just a little girl. You want to go and meet like director School of Physics, director here and there. Like, tak apalah kita orang pergi teman. Oh, I ada kelas, tak apa lagi seorang akan teman you. So I can see like social circle I waktu tu, alhamdulillah lah. Macam they are very supportive. So waktu tu macam you want to make a big decision. But I think of course kita berdoa, kita ask support, counselling and whatnot. Then I think that's it. That's my call lah.
Tak respect tau. Kita dapat tajuk cerita best ni. Okay. Tak, dia macam kan sebelum ni physics kan. Bila realise that you are very into psychology, adakah before that macam sekolah menengah tu dah ada minat ke arah tu, ataupun masa belajar tu baru macam aku minat benda ni?
Interesting question. I would say I punya minat tu dia macam exploding waktu I punya first year, waktu second semester. So waktu tu I'm taking subject macam understanding mind brain behaviour. Macam kita punya introduction subject, and it really answer all my curiosity pasal macam why people are behaving certain ways. So all this while macam kita ada each of us ada curiosities kan. So bila I macam it answers the question that I had, why people are behaving this way, why certain people vulnerable to feel stress, why certain people are very strong. So macam it fits my curiosity. So I want more. So hence I macam lepas je first year, I macam okay lah, I nak ambil subjek psikologi lagi. So second year tu I dah ambil all the macam subjek wajib psikologi, I dah ambil dah semua. So I'm glad lah waktu tu maybe the way the teaching, the lectures over there, they make it very interesting. So I'm very grateful for that lah.
Itulah. Ada tak macam efek, pengaruh daripada family member yang ada juga bidang psikologi ke? Ada tak?
Too bad I don't have any. So tak ada pengaruh langsung. Saya punya family yang memang traditional family. So my sisters, she's doing law. So my adik very firm on nak go into engineering. The others, my family members, most of them are teachers. So none of them having any insights on mental health, punya importance of mental health and how psychologists would be important as a career.
Tadi bila kita borak pasal influence ataupun pengaruh kan daripada keadaan sekeliling, boleh tanya tak ibu bapa puan kerja sebagai apa?
Okay. My dad back then was a project manager, and then after that he went into business. And then my mom also into business, but meniaga kecil-kecilan punya business. But then she really enjoys it. So she do something that she's passionate in. She's very into cooking. So she do what she loves. So I guess if you're asking me what did I get from my parents, maybe doing something that you love, correct?
Kan? Go for it. Betul, macam tak ada border, and mungkin sebenarnya you tahu your parent akan support you in whatever decision kot.
Even okay, another one extra thing.
Yeah.
How my parents support me when I was 12 years old. I was a very stubborn girl. My dad was project manager. Dia kena pindah daripada Pahang ke Seremban. At that point, I was a nerdy. I can't pindah school like that. This UPSR, 12 years old. So
Kawan-kawan lagi.
So what happened? I'm like, I nak duduk dengan rumah someone, rumah angkat. So that waktu tu bulan 3. Exam bulan 9. So let me stay with them. So my parents, I duduk dekat rumah kawan, bukan satu sekolah dengan I pun. This is kawan yang I pergi tuition with. My parents allow me to stay with someone else for 6 months. I was so stubborn back then.
You kan yang suggest.
The fact that you can voice
I don't want to go. I will stay here. So I don't want to stay with this family because we've been going to tuition together. So that's what happened. Now that I'm thinking about it, that's how my parents have been very supportive. They're very trusting me. Like 12 years old, to let them just go whatever you want to do. So with that in mind, I'm like, I see my parents as my role model. Once I'm becoming a parent, I'm like, my parents, you want to go anywhere, go. You want to study this? Go.
Ni sebab tu kot berani nak tukar
decision.
Bidang daripada melompat terus dari fizik kepada social ni. Memang peranan parents
sangat penting. The trust. I rasa cakap pasal parenting kan. So some parents like very scared to let their parents make a decision. Kan? So eventually mak I garang je. Abah I pun macam garang je. But then they give me this autonomy.
Betul. Very supportive from parents.
Very supportive.
They give the kids untuk grow, decide dia punya decision tu.
Betul.
Dia anak nombor berapa ni? Nombor 2. Nombor 2 kan? Patutlah.
Daripada 3
Patutlah
tengah
boleh cakap.
middle child syndrome. I guess talking about parents kan.
Interesting parents.
I think that should be one of the factor juga.
Betul. I guess the trust I have from my parents, confidence and everything, the support that they have in me. I make a lot of big decisions on my own, but with their support.
Itulah, Alhamdulillah. I think bukan semua juga ada privilege, that kind of
Betul.
privilege. Kan? Dalam menentukan career lah tu, you know, and who we are now.
Betul, you guys were asking the right question, why I'm into this suddenly. Because some people might just, now is the hype. Kalau tanya budak sekarang, the hype could be there.
Bayangkan sekarang ni betapa how thankful you are back then you make this decision, right?
Yes, I am. I still have this one post in my IG story talking about making a big decision. How scary. So it's like very remarkable for me. Nanti I boleh share punya IG. Changing is like a very scary thing. But if not, I'm going to be very regret. So
Uncharted territory, you tak tahu what to expect.
betul. It's like it's totally uncertain punya world. Especially waktu tu you dekat OZ, you know like how it's booming in Australia, but not in Malaysia kan. Betul. 2018, 2019, no. 2015, 2016.
Belum lagi.
Dia tak se-hype sekarang.
Lepas COVID tu yang
Lepas COVID memang betul-betul orang cakap, ke psikologis.
betul-betul.
Tapi kalau boleh tambah satu soalan je, before we move to another question. Adakah salah satu faktor ataupun pengaruh tu sebab you nak menyelesaikan masalah seseorang yang you nampak di sekeliling you?
I would say not necessarily. Sebab untuk menyelesaikan masalah tu, sebab eventually when you guys were training dan saya pun sebagai clinical psychologist, we understand we are not capable of solving someone's problem. It's their own responsibilities, but we are there to guide and teach them the skills that they need, kan? So if you ask me if I want to solve someone's problem back then, not really. Cuma I'm curious why some people are susceptible to that. But then I might recall something lah kot. When you are like alone, I mean you are like you're studying overseas, you're not close to families and whatnot. I do have like few friends yang my close friend do struggle dengan, we call it macam seasonal depression. So this homesick not necessarily, tapi macam bila ada changes in weathers and everything, it's hard to adapt. So it just like sparks my curiosity why some people are susceptible to that or why some of them are not. And eventually kat Australia I punya university, they're quite big on like macam sleep punya study, memory punya study, I mean personality punya study. So I'm like very curious about all of these things. So waktu I buat I punya first year, I banyak join orang punya eksperimen sebenarnya. Diorang macam sebenarnya this is a mean for student to gain money tau. Macam you join experiment, so you get insights. So waktu I join awal-awal waktu first year, I just tak tahu apa dia orang buat tau. And then looking at the labs, what they are doing, so interesting. Yeah. So this is how you are studying human being. So this is how memory work. So this is how people making decision. Oh, okay. This is interesting. I feel like this is something I want to do. Okay, for long run. Macam tu.
Kau boleh tambah lah. Sebenarnya saya rasa memang you are one of the kind tau. Sebab if I'm sharing from my experience, saya pun pernah belajar di negara yang ada 4 season. I've seen some depression as well. I think my kawan saya seorang pun dia ada jumpa psychiatrist kat sana tau. Tapi pada waktu tu dia tak spark saya untuk this is something that I would like to study dia, kenapa dia macam tu tau. So yeah, that's why very rare.
Not necessarily.
Actually kalau kita tengok macam Kerjaya puan ni memang memerlukan certain personality, dan saya boleh tengok personality puan memang mesra, macam kan social gitu. Adakah puan memang perbawakan tu dari kecil memang macam ni ke? Memang ada influence daripada ahli keluarga ke?
Okay, kalau saya nak jawab dari segi pembawakan saya lah kan. I think pembawakan yang saya rasa macam mudah untuk adapt, orang kata forthcoming, maksudnya kita macam orang mudah nak datang, approachable. I think this is something yang I do have from saya muda lah, daripada kecil. Sebab I guess being in a family of 3 siblings, yang mana your sisters yang macam always study and adik you is alone, and you have to be there to, to entertain you punya adik, and then you have to be there to assist your parents and whatnot. So I guess it's quite natural for me to be an open and approachable person. And I guess that particular traits of mine, I would say it's fluctuating sebenarnya. Waktu I guess primary school, I'm like very open, very approachable. And then sampailah I macam form 3 macam tu. Form 4, Form 5, I can see I punya traits yang approachable tu dia macam go down. So waktu tu I was so into like studying. I macam waktu tu I'm like
Fizik betul lah. Fizik
skema. Macam
fizik lah.
Ni tidur dapat
tak. Saya macam I'm so into study. Waktu saya Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, saya nak masuk sekolah asrama dah daripada kecil. Tapi macam science school and whatnot, tapi my parents did not allow me to go there sebab I ada adik kecil, so they were afraid if he's going to be alone. Kakak I dah masuk SBP dah waktu tu, I macam why can't I? Macam tu lah. So waktu I macam Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, I'm macam very forthcoming, approachable. And then waktu I Form 3 nak masuk Form 4 tu, I started untuk dapat, I told my parents I really want to go there. And then okay lah, this time you can go. So I went to like boarding school. Waktu tu biasalah culture shock yang mana macam kenapa diorang semua ni macam chill, tak nak study, adik budak pandai tapi tak payah study kan. I'm on the other hand, I'm the kind of person have to work hard untuk macam learn something. I enjoy the process of working hard tu. Bukan sebab I rasa macam you have to work hard, tak. Tapi the process macam doing it, I think it's very fulfilling lah for me. Waktu I macam Form 4, Form 5 tu macam I wanted to enjoy the process. So looking at all the other like genius student yang don't have to work hard, I rasa macam annoyed. Dah lah nak keluar lah daripada SBP. Kenapa diorang semua tak work hard? Kenapa diorang tak work hard? So I macam dah pandai, so korang chill lah. I macam I'm coming here with an expectation. People are very curious about studying, but they are not having those kind of curiosity. So what are you doing here? So macam nak keluar waktu Form 4 tu sebab I rasa macam diorang main-main. Lepas tu that's why waktu tu I start jadi sangat reserve. Macam orang nak main-main I tak nak. I nak fokus lah, tak bilang lah. I know what I want. So waktu I daripada Form 1, tak adalah dendam. Tapi macam sebab bila parents I tak nak bagi I masuk SBP, so I macam okay, kan rebel, I terus nak pergi jauh. Whatever it takes, I nak study overseas. So that's what happened. So waktu Form 4, Form 5, I have no choice but to study like crazy. I want to go somewhere very far. I want to learn people's culture. I want to see why people are so smart outside there. So that's what happened.
Tapi you need to study hard kan nak dapat scholarship tu.
Yes. So yeah, that's why waktu Form 4, Form 5 tu I macam bitter. Kenapa korang macam tak all out? I mean, this is my only chance for me. Kan? I mean, I'm not like coming from a very rich family. No, like very like normal family yang you have to get the scholarship to study overseas. So with that in mind, macam screw you guys yang tak nak study. I need to study for my own sake. My apologies about the language. Okay?
Betul. Choose ourselves gitu.
Okay, so macam
But how are they doing?
Okay, kalau macam tu benda personality tu settle. So kalau macam in terms of macam hobi ke, ada tak yang macam puan rasa macam patutlah sebab ni masa I suka kucing ke, I suka contoh I macam yang relate pada pemilihan Kerjaya sekarang ni, macam apa hobi?
Okay. I think I do have one yang could be related to my career at the moment. I am so into reading. I'm so into reading yang mana I'm so curious about stuff. So this reading part yang macam I can spend one day like 4 hours at bookstore and just sitting there and finish one book. So if let's say I'm like super stressed out yang macam I need to macam shut down, I'll go to any bookstore, Kino ke macam dekat Bukit Jalil, Pevi kita ada Sutaya. I'll go there, I'll sit there for 4 to 5 hours with a cup of coffee. That's it. Until now. But nowadays because I'm doing PhD, quite occupied, so I can't do that much. But now I'm swapping to another hobby of mine. One is reading. So that curiosity, reading, helped me as a career as a clinical psychologist because you have to read a lot. Because this curiosity, you need to understand why people are behaving certain way. You have to formulate a case. You need to understand apa yang menyebabkan orang vulnerable to this. What kind of environment yang make them susceptible to this. So you need to read a lot. You need to understand, you need to digest, you need to process, you need to articulate your thoughts. So these things I rasa somehow very helpful sebab I enjoy reading. So waktu I am doing my master back then, it's a tough journey kan. And I found my one way to cope, reading is my favourite, but I tak boleh read all the fun stuff anymore. So I found another new thing. Waktu I buat internal practicum dekat UiTM, every morning I pergi mamak, I lepak kawan I'm going to find one article macam CPG, I can read that dekat mamak.
CPG
So that's for me is very interesting. So but not like every day, but then macam every week macam I'm going to just find time because for me that's interesting lah. So I'm going to have a very thick file, I can kumpul all the CPG. My friend going to make fun of me. I have a thick file and teh tarik. So I have it with me.
Interesting hobi ni.
Baca CPG tu memang unexpected juga lah.
Tak, waktu tu because I was a trainee. Because I don't know a lot of stuff kan. So waktu tu I have to lah. But now I punya reading more to my PhD punya stuff. So
Untuk leisure, apa hobi untuk leisure?
walking. I'm so into walking.
Sama.
So brisk walk is like my main way to go.
Sama.
So brisk walk, macam being awake, I tak pergi brisk walk, I say something's off with me.
I see.
So macam even kalau I travel macam untuk conference overseas ke apa, I still have to go and find way to walk. So sebab kalau tak, something is missing. So walking is a way to go lah for me. Another one, my newfound hobby. So I'm doing a lot of mindfulness activities. So DBT pernah dengar DBT, Dialectical Behaviour Therapy?
Sudah.
Okay, maybe not yet, but then if maybe nanti korang akan macam come across this one therapy technique. Mungkin CBT korang pernah dengar, Cognitive Behaviour Therapy. So DBT ni, the third wave of CBT, khas untuk tackle suicidal patient or emotion dysregulation punya patient. So this Dialectical Behaviour Therapy ada 4 komponen. The first one is mindfulness. So for people yang ada borderline traits or ada suicidal punya intentions, most of the time, at least orang punya common trait, they have difficulty to be mindful of what they are feeling.
Betul.
They are not aware apa yang aku rasa. Macam, I don't even know why I'm angry. Am I angry? Am I sad? They just like, they just lash out. Not knowing what, what the hell I'm feeling. I don't have any
Is it
better-
confused actually? Confused ke?
Confusion, like macam states of not knowing, not aware. Hence, mindfulness is core untuk dialectical behaviour therapy yang mana to bring awareness of people before we help them. If they're not being mindful, we can't do anything. Macam contoh, you want to help someone, kalau you tak sedar, you tengah buat apa, why you're coming here to see me, you will not be getting anything better sebab you tak sedar you buat apa. With that approach that I have, my interest, somehow I adapt that in my daily life. Lately, bila I buat PhD, I myself vulnerable to stress. So what I did my leisure time,
Sama juga kita.
kan? So I'm doing like mindfulness colouring. You know, I bought macam batik punya colouring. So macam I stress, macam you tahu kan pasal sini they have a lot of like place to go. I'll go there on my own. I'll go there like 3 to 4 hours there, sit there, just gonna do that. Dan balik tak macam okay, I'm good. So
Mungkin kita kena buat.
Sama lah pula Izzati dengan
Izzati punya connection lah.
Tapi kita tak astrofizik. Kita astrofizik tu tak.
So yeah,
interesting.
so I did that eventually, and journaling, I can't help it lah.
Sama juga.
See, kan? You can't help it. I believe for some people,
Artistic people.
some people they might find it skeptical. Journaling work ke? It help you.
Offended kau.
Kan? So those kind of question, our patient akan tanya, I buat tak, you know, it doesn't help me that much. Okay. Hence, the most important part as a clinician atau therapist untuk let them understand, to psycho-educate why we journal, why we do mindfulness activity. So for me, I started journaling waktu I nak transition I punya journey from physics to psychology. I still have those small book of mine until today. So I did not journal every day eventually. But then I would journal when I have a difficult time or something that I'm not sure. So whenever I'm like having those like confusion punya moment, I'll go back. You've gone through this shitty period of your time back then. You should be able to go through this phase again. So yeah, so do reminder. So I really like.
Pernah dapat melaluinya sekali ni.
Why not now, kan? kan.
Okay, so I sense macam a bit of macam puan suka juga macam benda-benda art gitu. Sebab suka batik tadi kan. Ada tak dalam family yang suka-suka art juga?
Arts.
Ada influence daripada mana-mana tak?
Unfortunately, no.
Tak
My
ada.
immediate family member tak ada. But my grandfather, Tok Wan, arwah Tok Wan saya macam very into arts punya stuff. So, dia boleh macam, back then macam create a lot of like very cute miniature and whatnot. But you know, back then, I don't really appreciate those stuff.
Tapi
But nowadays, when I'm being a therapist, I have to teach them like mindfulness activity, and I've realized this kind of channel is very helpful. Mindfulness activities, coloring, mindfulness walk. Oh my god, they did a lot of like help
Effect.
untuk I punya patient lah.
Betul. Okay.
Jadi, puan rasa bila dah kerja as a clinical psychologist ni, does it fit your minat and personality kerja ni lah?
Okay. If I'm to answer honestly, I think it's very clear. I just say right. So it really fit my patience, my interest. It fulfill my curiosity. So I can foresee myself being in this field for
Forever.
forever is like a very strong word, but inshallah, if let's say God wills, I can foresee myself being in this field for some time, for a long time.
Nampaklah ada
Passion lah.
Yeah,
Passion.
it's like, not 100%, it's like 1,000%.
1,000%.
Wow. Okey, baiklah. Okay, seterusnya Cik Izzati.
Baik, itu sebenarnya satu pembukaan yang sangat-sangat menarik bila kita sebenarnya treasure daripada SPM sampai sekarang alhamdulillah tengah menyambung pelajaran dalam PhD. Okey. Berdasarkan semua yang kita dengar tadi, kalau puan boleh kongsikan apakah sifat atau ciri-ciri yang penting bagi seseorang yang nak berjaya dalam bidang ni? Macam mana personality puan sendiri membantu puan dalam daily life?
Okay. I think this one thing specifically is patience, sabar.
Patience,
Sabar. In the sense that, if I'm to be honest myself, I'm not a very patient person to begin with. So I think for me, on my own, I can see myself slowly growing into a very patient person. Tapi of course there will be time bila you macam fluctuate kan. So this is very important for my career, especially as clinical psychologist. You have to deal, and my population of choice is BPD, borderline personality disorder patient, which very unstable patient. Everyone knows that if let's say you're in this field. So most of the person in the psychiatric department, they won't be happy to deal with them, but they'll be happily send the referral out to me, and I'm happily going to receive them. Because for me, the patients that I have to deal with this kind of unstable patient is very interesting, because for me to help them to figure out what went wrong, what do you want to do with your life. I think that's interesting lah. So because if in DBT itself, our goal is to help them to live life worth living. It's not about being the best version, no. It's not about being 100% well, 100% healthy, tak. You can still be unhealthy, you still feel mentally unstable, yet make it is worth living. So I guess being patient is good. Sebab if I think I don't have the patience, I don't think I can deal with BPD. Itu lah, tak faham.
Jadi, sejauh mana puan rasa yang minat dan personality boleh effect kejayaan dalam kerjaya, especially dalam CP ni? Macam ada orang jadi CP mungkin sebab duit, ada orang jadi CP mungkin sebab mak ayah suruh ke kan. Tapi sejauh mana pun rasa dari segi minat dan personality ni yang boleh membawa sejauh mana ke dalam kejayaan dalam CP tu?
Okay. If I understand correctly, your question revolves around how important minat dan personality for me to eventually be in this field. Or I would say it's not like 50-50 from them. I would say 100% of them, 100% of them. 100% of minat, 100% of personality. Sebab, why I'm saying this, kalau you tak ada minat, you can't survive. Especially, macam sebab you will be bombarded with 1001 jenis punya patients, or like client we call it. So if you don't have the curiosity about their difficulties, it's going to be difficult in the sense that dia datang tiap-tiap hari, tiap-tiap kali session, tiap-tiap session, masih sedih, masih stres, tiap-tiap kali nak bunuh diri. Kan? So if you don't have the patience, if you don't have the curiosity, you don't have the interest, it's going to be very difficult. You're going to get burnt out very easily. So minat is very important. One thing. Personality, that patience part of me, if I don't have that, dealing with this kind of patient, you might not get far. In the sense that mungkin kalau you start jumpa dia orang, okay, that's it. Maybe one semester, that's it, done. So
100%.
100% for both of them.
Up until now, sebab sebelum ni tadi Puan cerita banyak tempat Puan dah praktis dekat dekat CP, dekat universiti swasta. Lepas tu masuk dekat UiTM right now ke sama PhD. Actually apakah cabaran yang terbesar yang Puan hadapi dalam bidang ni setakat ni? Dan macam mana personality, your curiosity, Puan punya personality Puan tadi boleh membantu untuk overcome cabaran tersebut.
Alright. Maybe if I can share this excerpt of mine waktu saya bekerja sebagai full-time lecturer, kan saya practice part-time sebagai clinical psychologist. Jadi bila practice part-time, okay, most of the time I'm going to have an online punya session. So this online session, I attach with NGO, nama dia Nyawa, yang mana diorang bagi free sessions untuk Malaysian yang ada financial difficulties untuk get help. So what happened, one of the biggest challenges that I have around that time is that this particular organisation, they want to provide the service. They want to provide the service, but they did not understand the nature of the patient very well. So what happened if they don't understand? They got very scared, as if the providers did not understand any harm that would be imposed on them. An example, patient I yang I jumpa this melalui online, dia BPD patient, yang mana after kita dapat 5 free session if I'm not mistaken. So waktu session yang terakhir, session keempat ni, sebelum ni, dia attempted suicide. Attempted. Okay. But it was a failed attempt lah. Sebab tulis jumpa I, it was a failed attempt. And the provider was very scared and worried because they don't understand the nature of BPD to begin with. Sebab, you know nowadays, okay, NGOs, mungkin they don't not have a lot of insights, but they have very good heart. They wanted to help. We have to acknowledge them. Without them, a lot of patients akan dapat help. But then maybe in their team, they understand the severity, but they don't understand. Some might have this kind of episodes where they will attempt suicide, and waktu tu they are like super scared. They don't know who to reach out. Sebab it happened right before my session. So this is the nature of BPD. Once they have attachment dengan clinician and they're about to be detached, they feel so scared they're going to do something to avoid from being detached. So when that happened, I was called to this organisation punya big meeting. What happened? Did you not aware of this and whatnot? At that time, I'm still a fresh CP if I'm not mistaken. But of course, I'm scared. Like what happened and what can I do? And then one thing that I've realised, they did not understand the nature. So what I did, I psycho-educate them. This is the patient. Yes, from my point of view, okay, one thing that I've realised, we might not communicate enough about this. But I guess moving forward, I give them suggestion. Maybe moving forward, you nak ambil patient, you have to get the diagnosis, you have to understand the nature, get the history of the attempts and whatnot, so you are aware of that. So if you did not have that, then it's going to be very difficult for you. So, and then after I can see, they take that advice of like very seriously, where they do I think sebab diorang macam ada rounds, macam maybe this intake diorang macam very simple punya intake form, and then they have like extra details diorang tanya. I think that's a good move lah. So that was for me at my baby very fresh year of CP, so that is one of the biggest challenge that I have lah. So you need to know the kind of patient you're seeing, why it happens certain ways. But if you're not sure, you can always reach out. Macam waktu tu, I not reach out to my supervisor and whatnot, happen to be they busy. But then I've realised something yang macam waktu tu, I realised they did not understand the nature. And for us, it's very easy for us untuk blaming ourselves. Oh my God, I did not do enough. Did I say anything to trigger? Very easy for us to fall into that trap. But we have to stand firm and understand what we are doing, understand our work, what we are doing. Sebab as much as we do help our patient, if they choose to end their life, It's on them. Okay?
Betul. Itulah sebab kita bermain dengan dunia yang tak terlihat.
Ya, betul.
Tak nampak.
Kita tak nampak benda tu.
Kan kalau macam doktor, dia nampak luka, boleh lah bagi ubat terus kan.
Ya.
Dan ubat psikiatris pun susah juga nak bagi kan.
Yeah. And this patient of mine, I jumpa early 2021 and she's still with me. So sebab BPD is a long nature. They still need support. So she still like struggle financially and everything. So whenever I know free sessions from any organisation, I will let her know, hey, so I tak boleh jumpa dia and give free service. That is a big no. Sebab kenapa attachment is one thing, but from legal point of view, okay, if let's say I'm giving very cheap one, 10 ringgit, 20 ringgit, it can be very harmful for them as well. If anything happen, dia pun tak boleh nak sue I. So that's why I need to attach to any clinic. So I tak buat freelance. I can attach dengan clinic and then they will get the service from clinics. So that anything happen, they are actually being dijaga lah, protected. So kita kena make sure they are protected sebab they are high risk punya patient.
Okay, soalan seterusnya. Okay, dalam pekerjaan ni, dalam Kerjaya as a clinical psychologist ni, apa aspek dalam kerja ni yang paling rewarding lah untuk puan? Dan ada tak macam pengalaman tertentu yang bagi impact yang mendalam kepada puan sepanjang berkhidmat ni?
Okay. I think I do have one yang rewarding. Yang I boleh share. I think there's a lot actually because I would say korang pun I guess jumping into this film knowing how rewarding it is. For me, waktu kalau tadi contoh tadi yang patient I yang BPD tadi tu, that's one of I think very long story. I rasa sangat fulfilling for me to be able to help her, seeing her worth, living her life, coming back on her feet after like so many attempts. So that's one of the things to see them helping themselves. I think that's very rewarding. Another one, when I was a trainee, I was lucky enough to meet a selective mutism punya patient. It's a child.
Selective mutism.
7 to 8 years old, if I'm not mistaken. Selective mutism where they did not talk to anyone but only people that they're very close with at home. So what happened? Waktu tu I was just a trainee. I don't know what to do. And as someone who loves to read, so I read a lot of like formulation case. How do we want to handle selective mutism punya patient? After I read, I still remember exactly step by step. Session 1, what you have to do. Session 2, what you have to do. I'm like, is it working? Buku tu I ingat kita tajuk dia, treatment that works. Gitu.
Treatment that works,
Selective mutism. Treatment that works. I macam, are you sure? Let me see. I dah kena bawa jumpa selective mutism punya patient. And I'm still a trainee. My supervisor, good luck Izzati. This is time for you to try. Okay. And I'm like, treatment that works. First session. Building rapport. Okay. First, do not let child to come into the session alone. Okay. You have to bring parent and then the child. Okay lah, I pun ikut. Okay, first. Bawa, letakkan semua mainan. And sebab dia 7 years old kan, go. And then parent kat sini, I duduk sebelah parent dahulu. So ini mainan. Okay. Mind you, sebelum ni, semua psychiatrist dia jumpa for almost 1 month, 2 months, 3 months dia tak nak cakap. So, expected lah. I rasa first time dia jumpa, takkan bercakap lah. So, that's my expectation. I datang, I jumpa parents, saya sembang dengan ni, I just say hi. So, that's the first step. Buku tu cakap. Okay, ikutlah first step. And then, second step, okay, now, what I'm going to do next, okay, parents dan child akan play together mainan tu. Okay, now saya akan bagi mainan dan saya cakap, okeylah saya akan buat kerja dekat sini sekejap. Parents saya cakap, boleh tengoklah mainan kat sini. Tu second step. Okeylah dia orang buat. Dan I duduk kat sini, I observe macam mana dia apa semua. And then third step, okay, what's next? Now you can slowly go into and talk to them. Walaupun dia tak macam talk to you. And then talk to them. Step 3. Step 4 yang still ingat, now, slowly, parents have to go to toilet. Okay. And then I'm like,
macam masak
kan? So, I'm like, okay, parents gonna go out for a moment, so we tell them, so nama dia, sekarang ni, ayah nak kena pergi beli air sekejap tadi, ayah cari beli air. So, okay ke duduk kat sini seorang? So that's how she's reacting. Then dia pun keluar, ayah dia keluar. So it was purposefully lah. So then I'm left with the child. And then I main without any words. Tapi I bercakap. Okay. Pizza ni ada warna merah, ada warna biru. Kejap, saya nak buat pizza baru. Nak buat warna apa
Biru. Oh, dia cakap.
She said that. I'm like, this is selective mutism patient. Treatment that work. I'm surprised myself. I habis saya jumpa I punya supervisor. Tuan, betul tak tadi? She blurted the word 2 times. Satu biru and then there's another one. Really? Okay, you ambil lah kes ni.
Dapat kerja pula.
So I macam So one of the things that we have to count untuk selective mutism patient, the amount of word, berapa words disebut hari ni, verbal, non-verbal justice. So I take notes on everything. First session 2 words, next session dah jadi macam around 10 to 15 words, and then towards the end waktu tu COVID, dia dah bercakap macam dah ada back and forth conversation, and then tapi here's the thing, it's not just about me and her nak build that rapport. I kena transfer these skills macam to schools, to people around her. So eventually, too bad waktu tu COVID, I tak sempat nak transfer that skills to school. Tapi I managed to help dekat extended family. So yang mana sebelum ni kalau dia pergi extended family punya house, dia akan sit there, not going to talk with anyone. But right now, dia kena dekat sikit. Okay. So that small improvement is enough at least for us. So waktu the end, sebab training kan, kita akan bertukar-tukar. Waktu tu saya dekat Kedah, so I kena back to KL. Waktu last session I dengan dia macam dia anak kampung apa semua kan. Dia macam I selalu ada mainan, so dia sangat excited datang. Final session dia datang bawa, I rasa dekat 2 kilo jambu merah tu. Dia tak nak bagi ayah dia bawa, berat dia angkut. Dia dah bawa sendiri. Dia bawa sendiri. Kakak cantik. So macam ni berat dia bawa kan. Ini jambu. Sukanya. Ayah cakap dah 2 hari dia kutip. So macam
aku nak nangis macam ni ya.
Kan? So for me that was a very fulfilling story. Macam that treatment work.
That jambu. That buku.
That treatment plan really works. Kan macam to build rapport, action and everything. So that's why I'm saying like, if I don't read the book, if I don't understand how it works, the theory behind it, why that thing happen, I will not be able to do it.
But the fact that you suka baca buku tu,
the
first place.
So another one, I would say interesting story pasal me liking book and how it helped. Waktu I trainee dekat UiTM, I was a fellow. I duduk kat dalam ni lah sebab I nak dapat free housing kan.
Tak apa, itu semua orang buat.
Kat UiTM. Terus saya nasib kan. What happened? Sebab kan I duduk dekat situ, I dekat dengan library. I suka hot buku tau. So I selalu pergi beli, bukan beli, I banyak pergi pinjam buku kat library, bawa balik. Mostly ada kat rumah I. So I punya classmate akan selalu make fun of me. Kalau tak ada buku tu, ada kat rumah dia. So they will come to my house bila kita orang kena buat assignment. So like, buku dia dengan you.
Dia punya curiosity, investigative tu sangat tinggi. Sebab tu dia baca buku.
Sesuai sangat.
So I guess for me that hobbies of mine too helpful lah. So I'm very curious. I like to read, so it helps like in this field lah, sebab there's a lot of thing kan.
Seronok betul ya kan. Seronok. Pinjam 2 lagi boleh tak?
God.
Next question.
Okay. Dalam perjalanan kerjaya ni, macam mana Puan melihat diri Puan berkembang daripada segi kemahiran, pengalaman atau cara berfikir yang boleh membawa Puan sampai ke tahap sekarang?
Okay, if I understand correctly, you were asking macam mana kemahiran dan pengalaman dan cara berfikir ni berkembang while I'm in this field. Did I get it right? Okay, I think maybe if I'm to answer this question kan, I would say the growth punya curve ni it's not linear obviously kan, tapi I can see myself it's moving upward slowly, and among these things I would summarize in 3 words, three ni lah. CRT. C is clinical work, R is research, T is teaching. So it did not just because I'm a lecturer. No, even back then when I was a student, master student, for me untuk berkembang, untuk make sense of what I'm learning, I have to do clinical work. Bila you jumpa patient, you will understand. And then for me to understand better, you need to make sense of the research thing. And hence why I'm lecturer. Research is very important. So you need to understand how it works, why it works, okay, and how to make sure it works. And then another one is part yang teaching. So when you have this kind of case and whatnot, you need to teach others, oh, this is what I found. Wait, but I don't think this is how it works. What do you think? So that teaching element, learning punya element is very important. So if you are asking me, how it helps me in terms of how I'm expanding myself, this is how it works, I would say. Sebab this career requires a lot of clinical work. You have to see patient. You have to do a lot of research. You have to read a lot, make sense of it. So, and you have to teach others, and you have to learn from others. So I guess slowly that's how it helped me to grow. So from I punya master years, because I think that's the culture that we have. We learn from each other. And then, and even for now, we still have like peer supervision dengan the other CP yang my classmate back then. So I think it's helpful lah.
Ingat tak agak-agak berapa ramai patient dah treat or client?
Oh, that's tough question, I'd say.
Hundreds, easily.
I think that's hard. Sebab here's the thing. I do a lot of locum walaupun I'm teaching full time.
Yeah.
So my patient bukannya daripada Malaysia. So I do attach dengan US punya company, ada UK punya company. And
Jangan hebat sangat pada
no. The interesting part is that dengan US company yang based with, sebab diorang ni multinational company. So how it work, dia ada Asian macam and whatnot juga kan. So most Asian, they are having difficult time to relate dengan Western clinical psychologists. So one of the example, I punya patient ni Filipinos. So she's an MNC based dekat US. So she's having difficulty bila dia jumpa kan CP from Western, dia ada masalah dengan mak dia. Cakap, Izin, just cut her off. You know, like you have to understand what matters to you. Like if let's say your mom is putting a burden on you, she's asking money from you, then you have to distance yourself. But for us, from Asian background, we do understand. Family is embedded in us. So that's when this culture part is very important. You need to understand this culture part yang, oh my God, you can't do that. So okay, let's try to play around. What can we do about this whole situation? So waktu tu I rasa macam, if you ask me how many patients, I don't have a solid answer, but maybe around 100 in this 2 to 3 years time. So
Tapi pun dah sebut pasal satu benda yang menarik tadi. So yang pasal patient daripada luar negara kan. Macam mana nak tackle, you know. Yelah, you ada you punya Asian punya ni kan, culture. Lepas tu overseas punya
patients.
Yeah. Sebab maknanya of course you takkan bagi advice Asian kepada Western and vice versa, right?
Betul. So if that's given, you tanya macam, what if I'm seeing like patients from like another cultures, for example. I think this is where humanistic punya point of view comes into a picture. You could be from any culture. Okay, you could be from any culture, but you're still human. So it's the same goal. You give the best for them, kan?
Okay, rasanya approaching the end lah kot kan. Bagi mereka yang kat luar sana, macam kalau Puan ada nasihat lah kan untuk mereka yang kat luar sana, especially generasi muda yang mungkin berminat untuk masuk dalam bidang klinikal psikologi ni, tapi rasa macam tak pasti, tak confident ke macam dengan kesesuaian diri tu kan. Apa nasihat yang Puan boleh bagikan?
I think it's important question. I have one practical tips kot. Waktu I habis degree degree in psychology, even though I know other psychology, I am still skeptical. Is clinical psychology for me? Or is it like forensic? Or is it neuropsychology kan? So waktu tu, even my dad is skeptical. Waktu tu I dah macam work in like conflict punya management, something not related to clinical. Waktu I balik degree, I terus dapat offer right away to do master. My dad are not happy about it. And I'm like, it's okay, give me 1 year, I defer I punya study. So let me do my, pros and cons list. I need to, if I can try to convince my dad, maybe I can convince myself why I'm doing this. So for me, take that time. Do not rush. So the advice that I can give, if you're interested, take time. Do not rush. Do your readings. I still remember in that 1 year, kan UKM punya master clinical psychology, dia ada macam handbook. I remember I was like flipping through what this is all about. I am asking my friend yang dah buat that, I ada macam I punya coursemate from Melbourne yang dah start that master. I ask them, how is it going? And eventually, another one part of me I tak share lagi. Waktu I kerja full time dekat GlaxoSmithKline, pharmaceutical company yang Panadol tu. So that was the first work that I had after I balik degree. I buat part time as research assistant kepada Profesor Firdaus yang buat cognitive behavior therapy. So that is my one thing that I did untuk explore what is clinical psychology. So I was working full time, but then at the same time I was doing part time research assistant to a clinical psychologist. So waktu I spam email, waktu tu I sangat sedih. Abah I tak bagi I sambung straight away. But then I don't understand why he asked me to take my time. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do something else with my time. I spam few lecturers, clinical psychologists in Malaysia. Prof Firdaus is the first one yang immediately reply, okay, I'm free esok you free, you boleh datang to UPM. And I'm like, okay lah, I ambil MC, I pergi. And I pergi jumpa dia. So what do you want to be actually, Izzati? You nak jadi clinical psychologist ke jadi lecturer? I want to be both. I like teaching, but I like clinical work. But I want to take my time to understand how it works. Sure? She even asked me, are you married? No. Why? No, I'm just like checking. I'm like, is that necessary, Prof? No, just checking. Okay. And then, okay, so you can start straight away? Yes. But then, how can you ensure? You're working full time. How can you do your work part time? Okay, Prof, give me 3 months or 1 month at least. Let's see how it works. If you think 1 month is good enough, you feel like I can do the work, we can go on. If not, I don't mind. If we have to stop this research assistant work, okay, let's start with 1 month and see how it goes. So I was her RA for almost 1 year before I started punya master. I was so happy sebab during that 1 year before I started punya master, I gained a lot of exposure. So I helped her with CBT workshop, a little bit of here and there, working on dia punya project, and then reviewing dia punya paper, proofread. So all the experiences was like very priceless lah.
Masuk klinik psikologi punya field ni berapa tahun?
2019, I start I punya master. 2021, I graduate. So 2021, I full start lah. 21, 22, 23, 24.
So right after memang awareness tu tengah naik sekali.
Betul. And I would say, Profesor Firdaus, the one yang I work as part-time, was a very important person. Waktu I was doing RA, I have like financial difficulties. I don't have financial support waktu buat master tu. I was working RA part-time, 2 RA work waktu tu to support I punya master. Dengan kat UPM satu, dekat UM satu. And then waktu tu Prof Firdaus punya grant dah habis. So I'm so sorry Izzati, I can't help you much. But then anything, please come back and tell me. And whatever it is, make sure you finish your study. So now she's my PhD supervisor. Tak, Firdaus tu perempuan sebenarnya.
She kan tadi.
Tak ada perempuan. And she's a super expert in cognitive behavior therapy. If you want to learn, dia worldwide. She's the queen lah in CBT kat Malaysia. So practical tips, if you want to come into this field, do your homework. Read. Gain exposure. Don't jump without knowing. Don't jump just because your friend are doing it. Don't jump just because it's the hype now or because the money is good now. Okay? So yeah, I would say that's the tip lah.
Okay, sebelum penutup. So you've seen a lot of patients kan? Tadi Puan kata you punya minat tu dalam apa?
BPD, borderline patient.
Right? Okay, so sekarang kalau tengok dekat Malaysia kan, so how is our situation now? Kita punya masyarakat, macam mana you boleh bagi satu statement ataupun access masyarakat kita dalam segi mental health? Adakah ramai depression ke, anxiety, mungkin ada yang bipolar juga ke? Saya ada satu bipolar. So all sorts of penyakit mental kan?
Okay. Right, how's the state right now?
Yes.
If I'm to say 2024 punya state is much better than 5 years back then. First and foremost is awareness. 5 years ago, the awareness is not there.
Yeah.
And 2024 punya awareness much better.
Okay.
But then awareness alone is not enough.
Betul.
So awareness is just the first step. Even kita punya patient, kita nak tolong dia orang, tak ada awareness, nothing going to happen. Right now, kan? So I would say in terms of awareness, it's there. Stigma was slightly getting better in terms of how people understanding. It's not that weird to share about mental health and whatnot. Tapi just a but there, in terms of the services provided, maybe we still need a lot of work to be done. But I have to say, kita punya services dah makin banyak compared to 5 years back then. Macam booming. Psychology services here and there. Banyak. But then, still again, to have the right way to implement it. So right now, for the one that I'm doing for my PhD, untuk borderline patient, we have a lot of patients. In terms of numbers, you can Google it. You can just type National Health Mobility Survey, I guess the latest one, 2020 or 2021 if I'm not mistaken. You can look at the numbers. How many anxiety, depression and whatnot. And eventually, awareness sekarang, very interesting. Sekarang ni I tengah buat kajian grant research dengan Jabatan Mufti Selangor. They wanted to provide garis panduan untuk ibadah, untuk pesakit mental. So I am one of the people yang doing this work with them. So they are having an awareness how important to address ibadah punya part, spirituality punya part for this patient. So, and they have, you see, Jabatan Mufti back then, while we're working on this, I can see they are doing a lot of work to understand. Oh, rupanya pesakit depression ni lain daripada stress. Oh, stress ni macam ni. So they have the awareness to understand the differences between it. Sebelum ni kalau kita orang nak, sebab diorang nak buat taklifan. Taklifan ni maksudnya dapat keringanan ataupun tidak. Solat ni, contohlah kan, kalau diorang macam tengah ada manic, mania, and then benda tu berlarutan sampai satu waktu. So diorang ni nak kena ganti ke? Nak kena dapat taklifan tak apa ke? So sekarang diorang pun macam, diorang pun tengok balik kitab-kitab. Oh ini jatuh kategori gila ke, junun ke? And they were like, okay. So sekarang ni we are sitting together, understanding. So from my end is clinical part. So my work explain this is what the disorder is all about, and from their point of view, oh ini seems like diorang hilang kewarasan. Macam waktu diorang manic tu, diorang buat keputusan without diorang punya capacity. And they're like, then mungkin diorang diberikan usaha dekat situ. So here the awareness is there, much better.
So it's awareness before change kan?
So no awareness, no change. So much better.
Jadi
Okey. Terima kasih banyak-banyak Puan atas perkongsian yang sangat-sangat menarik dan berharga pada hari ini.
Sesi kedua.
Alhamdulillah banyak yang dapat kita pelajari tentang bukan sahaja kerjaya dalam bidang psikologi klinikal, tapi juga tentang bagaimana personality dan minat boleh memegang peranan dalam memilih dan perkembangan dalam kerjaya. Sebelum kita akhiri podcast ini, kita nak memberi ruang kepada Puan untuk berkongsi kata-kata akhir atau nasihat kepada pendengar kita. Silakan.
Okay. So kepada yang mendengar,
Ini masuk YouTube tau. Masuk YouTube.
Oh my god, please, I didn't like my voice. Okay. But coming back, okay. The advice, I would say, if you are having an interest into anything, go for it. So just do anything that you feel like you are interested in. Contoh, you are interested in research. You are interested in specific populations. Go ahead. So if you're interested in cooking, very curious about how cooking going to help your patient. Contohnya, go ahead. I do meet recently someone who's very into dance and also into clinical psychology and how dance can help. Go ahead. So follow your heart. Do what matters to you. So you can't follow others obviously. So you need to know what you want lah.
Betul. Saya setuju dengan Puan. Jadi baiklah, terima kasih lagi diucapkan kepada Puan. I wish kita ada episod kedua. Terima kasih kepada Puan kerana sudi meluangkan masa berkongsi pengalaman. Pengalaman banyak betul. Itulah bersama kami kali ini. Jadi terima kasih kepada semua pendengar 25 juta kerana setia bersama kami. Jadi sehingga berjumpa lagi dan selamat tinggal dan syukur minda. Gitu. Bye.
Betul, I guess the trust I have from my parents,